right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. That opening music is by, yes, of course, Hank Hoffman, who, you might think is, related to me somehow, but obviously you're getting confused. It's a last name, first name. Totally no connection there. Hope you all are good. Just for me, on a personal level, this past week has been, I think, even more hectic than the week before when we all thought the president was on the verge of death. So it's a lot. This month has been a lot, right? I think we can agree this month has been a lot, but we're getting through it, and we got a great show for you tonight. So thank you for tuning in, and welcome to Hoff's Public Domain Horror Fest. I'm your host, Hoff Matthews, and this is, of course, a live comedy show and horror movie screening series. We show a horror movie, and we break it up with live comedy host segments like what you're seeing right now. We used to do this physically live in Brooklyn, but of course we had to stop doing indoor screenings due to COVID-19, and I actually ended up leaving New York City and coming here to my ancestral estate of Hoff Manor to ride out the pandemic here in my haunted mansion. And we're doing the show again, we're doing it online, and because we're online, we are showing exclusively older classic horror movies which have fallen into the public domain, including tonight's selection, Not of This Earth, the original Not of This Earth from 1957. There's a couple remakes, but this is the very first one from director Roger Corman. I'd describe the plot, but you guys, you're already here. You're already watching the show. I don't need to sell you on this movie. You're in it at this point. And we do also, as always this month, have a special guest on the show. I'm going to be speaking with filmmaker Sydney Clara Brafman about horror cinema. So looking forward to talking with her later on in the show. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit more about the director of tonight's film. As I said, Roger Corman, because we love Roger Corman on this show. This is the fifth movie of his, which we've screened. And he's an incredible guy and a very prolific guy. He's made tons of movies. That's part of why so many of his films have fallen into the public domain and become so important to me and other horror show hosts. And he's especially prolific as a producer, not just a director. He directed many films, but he's produced even more. It's crazy the output that he's had over the course of his career. And so I'm going to start off tonight with a little audience participation game, all right? So for all of you out in the stream chat, yes, R.I.P. Brett Davis, this is your chance to shine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you images from posters for Roger Corman movies. Mostly movies that he produced, not necessarily stuff he directed, but stuff that he was involved in somehow. And when you see those images, I want you to try to guess what the name of the movie is. Because I'm going to crop out the titles. So you're not going to see the titles, you're just going to see an image from the poster, and using that, I want you to guess what film the poster was advertising. All right? So, hello, Friday Mike. I'm so glad you could join the show. Happy you're here. And if everybody understands the rules of the game, we're going to get into it right now. So here's the first image from the poster for a Roger Corman movie. All right, sound off in the stream chat if you know what movie poster that's from. Anybody there? I'm on a bit of a delay, so I apologize. It'll take me a second to see your responses. But does anybody know what movie this poster was advertising? You guys probably have it by now, I hope. Man, what a delay this is. I'm still on the Roger Corman picture on my end. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can refresh here, catch up a little bit. All right, does anybody know what this is? All right, I might have to jump ahead a little bit. Okay, Friday Mike, there you go. With Not of This Earth, that is correct. Just testing all of you. I apologize. You have to watch me vamp for 2 minutes waiting for people to respond to this very obvious image, which was just from the poster for the movie we're showing tonight, Not of This Earth. Just a test, just a gimme I'm lobbing out to you there. All right, let's move on to the harder stuff. Okay, does anybody know what movie this poster is advertising? Very striking image, obviously. Wonderful art there. My worst date for the previous one. Very good. All right, I'm going to have to just jump ahead and assume congratulations to whoever got this, if someone has figured it out yet. But this is for the movie Stripped to Kill. Stripped to Kill. And So what I'm saying here is you guys probably won't have heard of a lot of the movies that I'm showing here, but you can look at some of this poster art and just kind of deduce what the title is in a lot of cases. So even if you're not that familiar with Roger Corman's work, try to do that. Again, I'm on such a delay here, I may not know if anybody got it by the time I move on, but you guys in the chat, you'll know. You'll still have the glory of guessing correctly if you do guess correctly. All right, next example here. Yes, you were close. Okay, case in point, sound off if you know what movie this is from. Again, this is not a trick question. It's not hard to get this. But sound off if you recognize this. I'll give you a second. I don't know if anybody got it yet, but I'll show you the answer. This is, of course, from Sharktopus. Roger Corman presents Sharktopus. So if anybody got that, congratulations. Great job. Moving on. This is a bit of an interesting one. Yes, good job, Sam Chaney. Well, I'm seeing that now. Okay, you guys got it. Yeah, so does anybody know what this is? There's a bit of a trickier question on this one. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. Target Harry. Target Harry, because that's Harry and he's in a target. See, it just makes sense, you know, this stuff is just intuitive. All right. Next one. Okay. Now this one, I know you guys can get this. Even if you've never heard of this movie, if you just look at that image and think about it, you guys can definitely get what the name of this movie is. Although I will say it's tricky. There is one answer which seems obvious and is not correct. There's a different answer which is also obvious and is correct. So see if you can get this. I'll give you a little time to throw your guesses out there. And I'm going to give you the answer now. Step Monster. This is the movie Step Monster. It's not Bridezilla. Again, I don't know if anybody guessed that. It looks like no. You might have thought Bridezilla, but no. This is Step Monster. I see a lot of guesses which are close, but not quite there. It's Step Monster. All right, next one. Okay, somebody did guess Bridezilla, and that's smart, but it was not correct in this case. All right. Anybody know what this is besides a butt and a thing? Give you a moment. I will note, you can't tell because I had to crop text out, but the woman is wearing a thong there. This is a family show. It's not just a bare butt. Don't get all excited. I'll give you a second, see if anybody knows this one. I bet you guys can get this one. I bet somebody's put it in already after the delay, but I'm going to give you the answer now. Piranaconda. Piranaconda. That's this one. Eelbutt is close. That's a good guess. But this was Piranaconda. A theme is emerging here if you guys are paying close attention. All right, this one, I'll be honest, I don't think you guys are going to get this one. I only included this because I feel like I saw this image all the time in video stores when I was a kid. For some reason, it's so familiar to me. It's burned into my brain. It's, I guess, a really memorable poster. But not a memorable movie, so I don't think you're going to get the title of this because I certainly wouldn't have. But I'll tell you what it was. This was, in fact, Knocking on Death's Door. Great poster. Is it a great movie? I don't know, and we'll never know. But that's what it is. Okay, this is a good one. Anybody know? Any guesses on this wonderful poster art here? I'll give you a second. Okay, beep beep, time is up with this one. Cocaine Wars. Cocaine Wars. Collector's Mercenary Edition, I guess. There you go. Now this next one, this is one of my favorites. You guys, you can get this if you don't think about it. Just look at that image, don't think about it at all, and just say what that brings to mind, and you might be able to get the title of this film. But sound off in the chat if you have an idea of what movie this is in the poster for. I'll give you a moment. I'm going to give you a second, and... Alright, this is the film Future Kick. Future Kick. It's the future, and it's, you know, it's Future Kick. Obviously, that is Future Kick. It's a very appropriate title. And, okay, I got one more for you. This is the last one. I think you guys can get this. A little familiar face on that one, but I'll give you a chance to weigh in there. Give you a moment. And you like Future Cake, right? It's great. All right, and now I'm gonna say the clock's run out here, and the answer on this one is Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf. Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf. It's part of the Sharktopus franchise. So there you go. Man, the delay was really rough on that one. I have to check my latency settings. But in any case, I hope you guys still had fun. I certainly had fun. I had a lot of fun just gathering those images, mainly, I guess. But playing the game with you was also fun. And look, I'm going to be honest, you didn't get very many of those right, but that's fine. You played, you showed a lot of spirit, and I think you've earned the movie. So I'm going to start playing the movie in just a second. I will tell you, as always, me and my co-producers, Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett, have added a few things into the film. Not that much. Most of what you see will just be the original Not of This Earth from 1957, but here and there are some Easter eggs that we scattered in. So keep an eye out for those. I will be speaking with Sydney Clara Brafman later in the show, and I'll be back on in about 15 minutes. But for now, great work in the game, and please enjoy Act 1 of Not of This Earth.
I think it's time I cut out now.
Don't be a drag. You know how you flip me.
I'm hip.
So?
So leave me here. If my father dug this scene, he'd put small round holes in your head.
Well, I guess it is pretty late.
I really have to get in. Good night, Pops. You're a dad.
And you're a doll. Later.
Later. Hello? What are you doing?
Hello. Do you have an appointment? I see. Mr. Paul Johnson for 10 o'clock. That'll be for a blood test.
No test.
I beg your pardon?
No test. Transfusion.
Well, don't tell me a big man like you was afraid of a little needle.
I have no fear. I came for a transfusion of blood.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson, but you have to have a blood test. We don't hand out blood like gasoline, you know. We have to find out whether you need ethyl or regular. Well, you sit over there. The doctor will be with you in a moment. There's some magazines there if you care to look at them.
Dr. Kavanaugh wanted in pathology. Dr. Kavanaugh wanted in pathology.
Oh, doctor, this is Mr. Johnson. He's here for an immediate transfusion.
I see. Well, Mr. Johnson, we'll look you over right away. Nadine, will you take him into the lab and run his test?
Oh, no, he's having a fast pint on the fly. No test.
Would you come inside, please? Sit down, won't you? Now, Mr. Johnson, why don't you want a blood test?
I choose not to reveal a reason.
Oh, I see. Well, then I suggest you try another doctor.
You have no blood here?
Yes, we have blood. But there isn't a doctor on earth who'll transfuse blood without first learning the patient's type, RH factor, and other peculiarities. The wrong kind would probably kill you.
I must have blood. I'm dying. I am type O.
I'm sorry, but I can't take your word for any of those facts. Get away from that.
Observe.
No bleeding.
It will bleed in some moments, but then thinly and sporadically.
Have you been to see another doctor?
None that you know.
A hematologist? Blood doctor?
Will you give me the transfusion?
Not unless you submit to a test.
Then without a specimen of my blood for study, it is impossible.
Impossible.
You will test. Then you will know and you will prescribe. You may study it in all the ways of your kind and you may learn, but you may not speak. You will not, you cannot transmit to any other being your knowledge of my tragedy.
I've had a terrible headache.
I am ready for your test.
Well, I'm glad you changed your mind. Take off your coat. Oh, this won't hurt. Fantastic. The agglutinin disintegrating at an uninterrupted rate, resulting in the destruction of the cellular structure of the blood. Oh, it's impossible.
There, that should do it.
How long have you been a nurse?
I graduated 7 years ago.
You are a good one?
That's no question to be asking a nurse. You relax now. I'll be right back.
Wait. Do you work always in hospitals, or may you treat private cases?
Well, I special occasionally.
That is good. I would like you to work for me,
Oh, you would. Doing what?
preserving my health, seeing to it that I do not expire,
Mr. Johnson, no one in this wide world can guarantee life.
nor in any other, I fear.
No, I suppose not.
What monies do you receive for the work of your profession?
Mr. Johnson, that's a very personal question.
It is. If you will serve me, I shall pay you $200 each week.
Let me tell you something, sir. No nurse would dream of getting $200 a week. Well, it's ridiculous. Besides, it has the sound of something very unethical.
Would it still be unethical if Dr. Rochelle asked you to serve me?
Well, if Dr. Rochelle assigned me to your case, I'd take it.
I see. Would you ask the doctor to come to me?
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
And you're to administer 500 cc's of typo every night until further orders from me.
Yes, Doctor. Just what is wrong with him?
Well, it's very interesting. He had... I'm not positive. There are indications of internal hemorrhage.
I see. How long does he have?
I don't know. I'm doing everything I can. From now on, it's in the hands of God.
Did you do all this? What? Mr. Well, I've got to hand it to you. I've never met anyone who commits so many violations all at once.
He seems aggressive. Why?
I'll talk to him, Mr. Johnson. You get in the car. I know him.
Thank you, Mr.
Now, don't start writing until I explain.
How do you plan to explain away a no parking sign, a fire plug, a red zone, and the wrong side of the street? I think this man's won himself a ticket.
He's in a critical state. Now, you put away that pad and stop playing stormtrooper. I've got to send this man home.
You say he's critical, Sunshine. He's critical, but I'll just tag along, see that he gets there safe and sound. Then maybe I'll take you in.
Why? I haven't done anything.
Why not? Here, buddy, you might enjoy a little light reading.
Where'd you pick up the cop? He followed me from the hospital.
I told you not to go driving a car before you learn how.
Come into the house, Jeremy. I want you to prepare a room.
You having company? Which bedroom's she gonna sleep in?
Open the room in the south wing. I shall be in the kitchen. Do not come there. Jeremy, I do not pay you to spy on me. Should you do so again, I shall eliminate you.
Sorry, boss. I won't do it again.
Go. Prepare the nurse's room.
Jeremy really took that in stride. Okay, so still early in the film, and I don't want to give anything away because it's obviously still pretty mysterious what's going on here. But obviously, there's something up with this Mr. Johnson guy, right? Something strange about him. And you guys may have noticed that he bears a certain resemblance to the Men in Black. Not just the characters from the popular sci-fi comedy, but the Men in Black as this concept that exists in UFO lore, these mysterious figures. And of course, one of the main characteristics that identifies him with that type is the sunglasses, or these dark-lensed glasses that the Men in Black wear. And if you think about it more, dark glasses or sunglasses are kind of associated throughout culture with mystical or supernatural powers of some sort. For example, in the film The Matrix, Neo, of course, has, he's the one, and he has this ability to bend and shape the universe that he exists in to his will, and he wears those cool glasses. But of course, his master and mentor is Morpheus, who you know is even more enlightened and powerful because he has the cool glasses that just clip on and don't have the stuff that go over the ears. Makes them even cooler and even more powerful. Another example, of course, is They Live, in which Rowdy Roddy Piper gets a hold of these sunglasses which allow him to see the truth of what's happening around him and discover that his world is actually run by these malevolent space aliens that have taken over everything. They Live, of course, also has the famous scene where Piper has to convince his friend to put the glasses on and is like, come on, put on the glasses, establishing, metaphorically, that an unwillingness to put on shaded lenses is indicative of an unwillingness or an inability to break out of the capitalist delusions which are foisted on us by the ruling class as a means of social control. So you might be wondering, what does that all mean? And sunglasses can be traced back to Inuit peoples who would actually make these protective glasses out of walrus tusks in order to protect themselves from snow blindness. And many people speculate that they actually were gifted this technology by space aliens who crash landed in the Arctic and bestowed this really special thing on humanity. And now in the present day, sunglasses are really only used properly by societal elites such as Lady Gaga, Sir Elton John, Bruno Mars, Bono, and my grandma. Happy birthday, Nana. You're a societal elite in my heart. Love you. So I hope that was illuminating, and let's see some more of the film. I'll be back in 15 minutes or so with Sydney Clara Brafman.
You're expected. Come on in. Johnson's in the living room. I'm Jeremy. If there's anything you need, baby, just ring for me.
All I need on this job is blood.
I'll see what I can do.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Johnson, but I had to clean out my desk at the hospital.
Do not excuse yourself. Come, I will show you to your room.
All right.
Jeremy and I are alone here, Miss Story. You're the first person who's been in my house.
We only been here a month.
Jeremy, it is time that you saw that all the outside entrances are secure.
Right, boss.
Bring Miss Story's bag upstairs. Your room is upstairs, Miss Story.
You have a lovely house here, Mr. Johnson.
It is adequate, Miss Story. Here you will sleep. I've received blood this day. You will have no further duties until tomorrow.
Then I'll say good night, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson!
Yes, Miss Story.
You locked my door.
I did, yes.
Why?
You do not wish it?
If my door's going to be locked, I'd like to do my own locking.
In the place from which I come, no person would dare sleep in insecure quarters.
Just where do you come from?
I believe your expression was good night, Miss Story.
Yes. Good night, Mr. Johnson.
Time narrows. There is death upon Davana.
Davana must endure.
Speak of the Earth creatures.
They are second stage, subhuman, weak and full of fright.
Speak of their blood.
It may be as ours. I have sent to you 30 cubits for study.
There must be more. The conquered enemies dwindle in the pens of pasture, and time constricts. It is soon that we shall all perish.
Perhaps the blood of this planet shall answer.
Your mission upon this globe is to be accomplished in 5 out of 6 phases. In the first, you will study all characteristics of the Earth subhumans.
Phase 1 is study.
In the second phase, you shall increase the quantity of Earth blood, which you are transmitting to Davana.
Phase 2 is more Earth blood.
For phase 3, we must have a live specimen, a subhuman to be used in vivisectory research.
Phase 3 is a live specimen.
You are phase 4, in which Earth blood value will be determined by your survival or your death.
Phase 4 is my life or death.
If Earth blood preserves your life, phase 5 will be the conquest, subjugation, and pasturing of the Earth subhumans upon your order.
Phase 5 is conquest, subjugation, and pasturing if I live.
Phase 6 will be the utter obliteration of this planet by your order, dependent upon the anticipated failure of your experiment.
Phase 6 is destruction of this planet if I am to die.
Phase 6 concludes the instructions.
Phase 6 concludes.
I am returning.
Up already, boss?
After you've taken Miss Story her food, prepare the automobile. You will take me to the public library.
I hope you eat something this morning. I'm getting sick of throwing away good food. Anything else, boss man?
No, nothing.
Anybody home?
Is that you, Jeremy?
Yeah, I got breakfast.
Well, leave it on the bureau, will you?
I sure will. After a stretch here, I'd be able to get a job at the Ritz. There, at least I get a tip.
Why, does Mr. Johnson pay you very much?
He pays me too much. I think the guy's short a few nuts and bolts.
Would it be out of line for me to ask you just how much he does pay you?
Nothing you could do would be out of line, baby. He pays me $300 a week.
What in the world for?
Most anything.
Such as?
Such as making sure nobody goes near the cellar, and such as changing little gold ingots he gives me into U.S. money. What do you do, kid?
I'm here to keep Mr. Johnson healthy.
I'm already healthy. What time do you get off work?
I'm not here to keep you happy, Jeremy. Mr. Johnson, you strike me as a very healthy man.
I am pleased. Perhaps your treatments will prevent my predicted death.
For a man who thinks he's going to die, you seem to be pretty casual about it.
How can one not be casual? Death is not a remarkable thing.
No, but it's not exactly something one looks forward to with giddy anticipation.
That is true, nor with undue dread. You have no further duties until this evening, so you may do as you like with your time until then.
Thanks. I think I'll try that pool of yours.
You're gonna get yourself wet.
I think everybody in this house could use a little exercise.
Well, save me a little water for when I get back from town.
I'll do that. You could probably use it.
Hey, I've got a hook and line inside. Maybe I ought to go get it, huh?
Huh. I'm afraid, Jeremy, you just haven't got the right bait.
Morning. I represent the Airway Vacuum Cleaning Company. You the gentleman of the house?
This is my house.
Crazy. I'd like to show you the product.
You wish that I purchase your machine.
I don't want you to purchase, mister. I just want to give you a free demonstration. You want to purchase, you purchase. You don't want to purchase, you don't purchase. I ain't gonna force you to purchase. Now, this is one of our standard attachments. We'll clean any rug you got in the house, no matter how deep the pile or how delicate the fabric. Ain't that something?
I do not wish to purchase.
Hey, let me finish, will you? This, as they say in the vernacular, is the darling of the vacuum cleaning world. You have trouble with stopped up pipes or drains like in a kitchen or a cellar? Or with this little baby, your problem is over. See, it goes right into the pipe.
No persistence. Leave my house.
Shit. Give me a chance, will you? It's just a demonstration. You see this little baby at work in your own cellar, you turn flip-flops.
No flip-flops.
No flip-flops. Look, buddy, let me have 5 minutes of your time in your own cellar. I'll prove to you that this little baby can do what no other vacuum cleaner in the world can do.
In my cellar?
That's right. Take only 5 minutes.
Come right in, young man. I shall be glad to see your machine in operation.
Crazy. Will you just take a look at the dirt in that drain pipe, buddy? Ain't that a shame? You never know when a thing like that's gonna give you trouble.
Well, we'll have it out of there in a jiffy.
It's a very simple operation.
Jeremy, I've ordered you not to sound the warning horn or make any high decibel noises while near me.
Sorry, boss. The jerk cut me off.
Jeremy, who are those gentlemen?
Those aren't gentlemen. Those are bums.
Bums?
Those characters have hit the bottom of the barrel. They live from one day to the next just for a shot of cheap hooch.
They're unfortunate.
Unfortunate? They're happy. Give them a little wine or a bottle of hair tonic and they're tickled pink.
Phase 2.
What'd you say, boss?
Nothing. Jeremy, I want you to invite three of those gentlemen to dinner tonight.
Dinner? Are you kidding?
Tonight, Jeremy. You'll proceed to the library.
Well, anything you say.
Return home, Jeremy. I will be finished here at 5.
Gotcha, boss.
Car laid up, Doc?
Oh, Harry. Yeah, I'm afraid that car has a chronic illness.
Where you going?
Oh, over to see Nadine and our patient.
Hop in, I'll give you a lift.
Oh, thanks. I hope you and Nadine stay on friendly terms. At least until I'm back on wheels.
All right, so hope you guys are enjoying the film so far. We're going to take a break and speak with tonight's special guest, filmmaker Sydney Clara Brafman. She is the writer and director of The Only Thing I Love More Than You is Ranch Dressing and Decapitado Consequence Mortale, which I think I'm pronouncing correctly, which are both in festivals right now, among many other works. And I'm excited to talk with her, so I'm going to bring her on right now. So just give me a second. It's always a bit of an ordeal with the Zoom windows, but hopefully this will be nice and easy. There we go. Sydney, you are live on Hoff's HorrorFest. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first of all, I guess, how is your Halloween season going? I love the ears.
Well, they're space buns, you know?
Oh, the space buns. I love the space buns.
Yeah, no, it's been fine. Usually it's very festive. This year we're keeping it a little chill, just doing a lot of decorating and Animal Crossing, you know, planting lots of pumpkins.
I'm not an Animal Crossing player. Is there seasonal stuff in there? Can you
Oh, yeah.
Can you go trick-or-treating in Animal Crossing? Is that a thing?
Well, you don't go trick-or-treating, but all of your neighbors do. So they come to you for candy and you have to give them the candy.
Okay, well that is very adorable. This conversation is off to a much more wholesome start than I was expecting, I have to say. So you are a horror filmmaker, and you've made a lot of projects, a lot of shorts. So you've made a lot of what you call bite-sized shorts, some of which consist like entirely of someone getting injured or killed by like an everyday object. So what attracts you to the genre? Like, what is it about horror that sort of appeals to you and resonates with you?
I kind of feel like everything is horror. So like when people ask me, they're like, man, so like what is horror to you? Honestly, the answer is everything. So horror to me is kind of that line where something can be so sort of funny and so outrageous that it almost becomes unsettling and makes you uncomfortable. So horror doesn't always have to be like scary. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm so afraid to go to sleep, something's gonna haunt me in my dreams. And it also doesn't have to be like, oh man, like that man cut his arm off, look at all the blood coming out of that like stump. It's you know, it's those things, but it's also a little bit more. So it's kind of that stuff that haunts you both. Again, like it could be funny and it could haunt you, or it could be kind of creepy and haunt you. So it's really anything that you kind of, by haunt, like it's something that you think about often. So if you watch a movie and you're like, man, I can't stop thinking about that movie, like I would actually consider that maybe a horror movie because it's haunting you and it's something that is sort of leached into your brain and it's triggered something that makes you question it and think about it, and over again you're like, God, I can't stop thinking about that. So to me, horror is kind of, it's everything. I think a lot of people consider it campy and it's sort of like a bastard genre, but I love it. I love kind of expanding what horror could be. And right now I'm just having a lot of fun, like killing people in movies that are a minute or 15 seconds, you know. It's kind of just really playing around and seeing what I can do with limited resources and an expansion of creativity.
That's good. Yeah, I could definitely see everything as horror being a perspective that really resonates with people in our current moment, certainly. And sort of that overlap between comedy and horror is definitely something that we're very interested in on this show. Speaking of the limitations that you're referring to, I mean, I don't know if this is exactly what you were referring to, but how have you been dealing with lockdown and the pandemic? Has that limited your ability to work as a filmmaker, or have you found ways around that?
Yeah, well, I've taken a break from on-set work just because I personally kind of feel like, and this may be a controversial statement, if you can't afford to have like a Tyler Perry production bubble, maybe you should just kind of like hold off on your passion projects for a little bit. So I've kind of, I've done a bit more like, you know, behind the scenes stuff. So I'm doing editing, color grading. I wrote a short, which, you know, everyone wrote a short over webcam. It's like, I had the idea actually like 10 years ago when I was a kid, and I was like, man, like I'll write this down in a book and one day I'll write it. And then I think it was like early, like May, I was like, all right, now I have some context. Like, let me finish up that script. So it's kind of just been like solitary stuff, but I actually was really lucky. My friend convinced me to shoot something in December. So I had all of that footage, and now I've just been editing that, which, you know, it's great because it gives me something to do. But yeah, I've been taking it easy, trying to not, you know, get out there. Still taking quarantine pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Doing my part.
That's good. What was the idea that you had 10 years ago, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah, so it's a webcam thing, and it has nothing to do with the pandemic at all. But basically, it's being unable to help someone who's right in front of you who's dying. So originally, I wanted the idea to be two people are on a webcam. One of them starts choking and is alone and just chokes to death while the other person watches. Yeah. You know, a lot of what I like to play around with is something that was a thing or could be a thing, and then either actually happens or has already kind of happened that was really weird. And there was an incident in, I think, 2012 or something, where a woman was FaceTiming with her husband who was deployed, and some shit went down while they were on. Yeah. And some stuff went down while they were on the webcam. And I think it was like he ended up getting like shot from somewhere. There was like a stray bullet that came from somewhere, and he died in front of her on the webcam. And so I know. But again, like I had the idea before that happened, and then that happened, and I was like, ooh, that's like really crazy. It really happened. Like that's a thing. And I'm sure, you know, with everyone that wrote their Zoom films, someone else has probably also wrote that same thing. But you know, it was good to just at least get it out. Good to, like, you know, check off that unfinished business in terms of like, this was a script I wanted to write, and now I wrote it, and now it feels great. I don't have to make it, but the fact that I got it, you know, finished on paper feels really good. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. I mean, that's so interesting you say that, because one of my favorite like bits of film trivia is Dario Argento, when he was making Deep Red, like intentionally basing all of the murders off of like everyday things that happen to people. Like, you know, you stub your toe on furniture or whatever, he's going to have a murder where somebody gets like their head bashed to the corner of a desk, or somebody gets like scalded to death in the shower. And that's sort of, I mean, it feels like that's sort of the spirit that you're working in, like these things that people can really like relate to on a visceral level.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like everyone has their own like take on horror in ways. And so, you know, a lot of people like supernatural, a lot of people like, you know, aliens or monsters or things like that. I'm kind of I'm having a lot of fun playing around with what feels like fate and what feels like a balance in the universe, where everything that I'm sort of writing about and playing around with are real things. So like, you know, it's all a very, very minuscule statistic, but it could happen. And kind of me putting it into the universe, me thinking about like that specific scenario, that like domino of cards where it's like you're sitting in a cafe and the ceiling fan falls on your head. Like, who knows if that could really happen, but thinking about it kind of haunts you, and you're like, now maybe I don't want to sit under that ceiling fan. Maybe I'm going to sit over there by the window. You know, that's kind of the stuff I like to play around with. It's comical and it's hilarious because the chances of that happening are, again, very, very slim. But if you think about it, it could happen, and that's scary.
Yeah. Is that the sort of thing you gravitate towards as a viewer? Like, are there certain films or subgenres within horror that you sort of most enjoy watching?
I kind of try to watch everything, and I even watch things if I know they're going to be bad, because I like to think that there's going to be at least one good thing about it. Like, even if I'm watching something really, really shitty, it's like, well, you know, hey, that production design was really good. I'm thinking, like, I mean, I love things like Final Destination. Obviously, those are really great and they're a lot of fun. I like can't think of any like fantastic horror movies that I've seen in a while, and maybe that's depressing. I don't know. The last movie that I saw that was like my favorite thing was First Cow, which is the least horror movie. It's the most wholesome bromance about a cow. It's great. I'm trying to think. Oh, I just watched Mandibles, who it's done by Mr. Wiseau. He also did
Tommy Wiseau of The Room?
Yeah. No. So it's spelled like Ozio. Okay. In English, it looks like Oizo, but he's French, so I guess it's pronounced like Oiseau, like a bird, I think. Right. But he did Rubber, and that's the movie about the tire that kills people. And his new film that just came out, it's Mandibles. It's about these two guys they're literally like Bill and Ted, and they find a giant fly. Like, the fly is the size of a dog. And it's like, it just like that kind of stuff is great. It's weird. I love it. I guess, yeah, I would gravitate more towards like comedic horror. I think if horror is really serious, it becomes unbelievable to the point where like I've lost interest because, you know, I don't know, people are real human beings. Like, not to say that, you know, horror movies need fart jokes, but like people aren't that serious all the time. People are going to laugh. They're going to do something stupid. And when you kill off your comic relief, like in the first 20 minutes, it's like, well, now why am I going to watch this movie? You kill off all the best characters in the beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's funny. I mean, I think Roger Corman's movies, watching them for this show, have been kind of striking to me in the amount of humor that a lot of them have. I wanted to ask you in relation to him, because he was known as someone who sort of gave a lot of young filmmakers their start in his own time. You know, people like Joe Dante and Martin Scorsese and Jonathan Demme. So I guess, what does the sort of film industry landscape look like from your perspective for young and up-and-coming filmmakers right now? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you can't compare it to like the 1960s or whatever, but how does it seem to you at this moment?
I honestly feel like it's really empowering in a way that is also extremely discouraging. So there's like two sides of it, right? Because there's the industry, which is like you're working on union projects, you're working with millions of dollars, you're like out there. A lot of that comes from like working in the same position for years and having, you know, industry connections and having lots of money. And then there's this other side that is also something really kind of magical happening, where people are just making movies on their phones, and those are getting millions of views on Vimeo, on YouTube, even on TikTok. And that is kind of gaining like so much more of an audience than some of these other blockbuster movies, that there's kind of like these two worlds happening right now. And I'm not in either of them, I guess, because I'm not on TikTok and I'm not in a union. But it's sort of something where you could either be really, really depressed all day about how you aren't working on Marvel movies, or you could be, you know, really sad that you don't have 10 million followers on Instagram. But you could kind of like figure out where you fit in that world. So sort of, again, like figure out what your resources are going to be. Do you have creative friends? Can you force a friend to put on like a Michael Myers mask and like run around with a knife? Can you do that? Can you
I do, and I have.
Exactly. So, you know, it's really about kind of like figuring out what you can accomplish within reason and just actually doing it. That's like the hardest part, that no one really like. People are like, oh, well, you know, I have all these excuses. Like, I can't do it. I can't, you know, I don't have the equipment, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, okay. iPhone, like Apple literally just came out with a phone that shoots like cameras that are rivaling some of like industry cameras as of a couple years ago. If you can get an iPhone, you are absolutely a filmmaker and you can just make something. So I feel like it's inspiring if people can really take advantage and be motivated. It can also be depressing because, again, you're not working on those Marvel movies, but you know, I don't really want to be on a Marvel movie, so it's fine.
What about the scary ones? What if it's like New Mutants or something? Then it's cool, right?
They misspelled the co-creator's name in the credits. Nice. So.
Well, you know, everybody's got other stuff on their minds. It's a tough time for everyone. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as you said, I mean, building community is a really important thing. I mean, I know you're on the board of NYC Women Filmmakers. Can you talk a little bit about that organization and what they do?
Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of like, again, like totally not on brand, not horror at all. Super, super wholesome, super great. It was an organization that, it's funny, her name is also Sydney, but she founded in 2015. We started as like a really kind of close-knit group of a bunch of people who just wanted to like talk about being filmmakers and see if we could like, you know, help each other out with our resources. Like, hey, I need a location. Hey, I have that location. Or, hey, I need someone who can record sound for me in 2 weeks. Hey, I can do that. And we kind of just like had these meetings and it was great and it grew and grew. And then we became a nonprofit. And we're actually working on some really great stuff right now that now that I'm realizing I can't even talk about, so I shouldn't have mentioned it. But it's great. We have a Facebook group. It's over 6,000 members. We are right now, we've kind of taken advantage of the fact that everything is sort of virtual. And so we've been offering these like virtual workshops where we have amazing filmmakers come in. The director of the new Candyman came and she did a Q&A, which was amazing. Nia, she was wonderful. We have, oh my God, I totally forget a name and this is awful, but the director who did the new Shirley movie, with Elizabeth Moss. She came on and answered a bunch of questions. And then we also have like workshops on how to like do taxes for film and how to like talk to your local mayor's office and get permits. And so for years, we've been sort of like a New York centric organization, but now since everything's a little bit digital, we're sort of, we're expanding and we're like, hey, you know, maybe you lived in New York at one time, but now you live in London because the world is different. So you can still talk to us and hang out with us. But it's been great. It's a wonderful organization. You definitely check it out if you want resources, if you are a filmmaker. It's really about supporting those sort of overlooked positions. So a lot of the industry is heavily male and it's heavily white. And we're trying to sort of empower people who are in power to kind of change that. You know, it does start from the top. So if you are a casting director and you're looking for roles and it's like, we want to be able to expand the choices that you have. So we want to be able to put other names out there. So you're not looking at the same, you know, 50 pages of the same person all the time. You're like, hey, like, let me see about what I can do differently. Let me look out and see if I can get some diversity over here and actually, you know, foster some talent that we haven't seen before. So it's great. I love it. New York City Women Filmmakers, come check us out.
Yeah, it's great. Well, the last thing that I wanted to do, if you're down for this, is a little trivia game connected to tonight's film, Not of This Earth. So what we're going to do is I sent you, because I don't know if you can see the stream right now. I'm going to put an image up, but I sent you the list of films. We have a bunch of alien movies, which I'm putting up on the screen here. I'm going to go through the taglines and see if you can identify which movie each tagline corresponds with. And people can play along in the stream chat if they want to do that there, if you want to play from home. Okay. So I have them written down here. All right. So first alien movie tagline: in space, no one can hear you scream.
See, that one is the only one that I knew for a fact. That's Alien. That's the easy one.
Yes. If you hadn't gotten that one, I would have been concerned about the future of the game. But yes, absolutely, that is Alien. All right. Next one: we always believed we weren't alone. On July 4th, we'll wish we were.
Okay, so I have to say, I think it's Independence Day. But I have not seen Independence Day. But I feel like it does involve the 4th of July because the name is Independence Day. Is that right?
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Okay. Yeah, we're trying to trick you. It sort of sounds like a release date, and maybe it was, but yes, that is Independence Day.
Okay.
On a similar but more concise note, we are not alone.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. That's the whole one. Okay. This is maybe the hardest one.
We are not alone. Oh, is that... Shit. It could either be Signs or Close Encounters.
It could.
I think it's Signs.
I'm sorry, it is Close Encounters. You had the 50-50 chance. So it was good you said that, but it was Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that one.
Okay.
Next one: from out of space, a warning and an ultimatum.
I don't know. Species? I really don't know.
That is The Day the Earth Stood Still. I'm sure it does apply in terms of the plot to most of these movies, but that is from the old one, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Okay.
All right, and then next one: it's not like they didn't warn us.
Oh.
There's a little hint if you think about that one.
I know. I feel like it's Mars Attacks. I just watched it too, but I feel like that tagline isn't very funny, and I feel like they had way more comedy going for it. Mars Attacks. No, it's not.
Your instinct is correct. That one was Signs. That was Signs. Oh, they warned us with the signs. It's one of the things. Once you hear it, it's like
Right.
Okay. Next one. Just a few left here. 2 decades ago, scientists sent a message to outer space. This is the reply.
Oh. Wait, how is that not close? Wait, oh God.
That's why the game is fun, because any one of these could be any of the movies. They're all the same movie, or the same advertising
They really are. What do we have left? We have Arrival, Species, and Mars Attacks. Is it Mars Attacks? No, it's not.
It's not Mars Attacks. I'm sorry, it's Species. That one was Species.
I I haven't seen Species. I actually don't know what happens in that movie at all.
It's a sexy alien, I believe, is the plot of
Ah,
Species. I don't
okay.
think I've seen it either, but that's my understanding. And I'm going to torture you with one more super generic one before the last one. Why are they here?
Okay, that could be Arrival, because that seems like trendy. That could be like a trendy modern.
That's true. Yes, it's sort of a modernist, minimalist tagline.
Right.
Yes, that is Arrival.
Okay,
And then
cool.
You were correct about the humor with Mars Attacks, because the Mars Attacks tagline, that's the last one left. It's
Okay.
nice planet, we'll take it.
Okay, yeah. See, if you had started with
I
I
know.
really, that's definitely Mars Attacks.
All right, well, you did great. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was great talking with you. Is there anything you want to plug?
No, man, all my stuff is private. I can't, so yeah, the 2 films that I made, The Only Thing I Love More Than You Than Rank Stressing, and then Decapitado, Consequenza Immortali. Both of them are awesome. They're 1-minute films, but they're still private, so I can't talk about them yet.
Okay, well, follow Sydney on social media, right? I'm sure you'll keep people posted.
Socials, Squib Films and Tiny Terrors. Both of those, you can find me there. And then my personal is Crooklyn Cat. I, post a lot about other things. I have a cat. His name's Benny. Hi-yo Benny. So if you like cats, there you go.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you so much, Sydney Clara Brafman. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
All right, this was great talking with her, and let's see some more of the film.
Hi, Harry.
Hi. Well, you look as if you're enjoying your job.
You've got to keep in shape. I see you've got yourself a new chauffeur.
Uh-huh.
Clear the road, will you?
Well, if it isn't Pittsburgh Perrin, the riot of every cell block.
Officer Sherborne.
Classmates?
Yeah. Jeremy here spends his summers with us. What's he doing here?
Jeremy, ask the doctor to come into my house.
I guess I've been invited inside.
I'll show you in, Doctor. Is Jeremy really a criminal?
Two-bit crook. Can't imagine what he's doing working for a man of Johnson's class.
He's probably trying to reform. Come on in, I'll build you a cup of coffee while the brains talk.
Thank you, Jeremy. You may go. I assume, Doctor, you have further scrutinized my blood?
I certainly have, Mr. Johnson. And there are many questions I'd like to ask you.
That desire is predictable. How many answers you receive, however, is not predictable. Have you spoken to anyone of this?
No, I feel it best to keep it an absolute secret.
An excellent feeling, Doctor. Can you tell me anything that I do not know?
I can tell you this. Your blood is different from any I've ever studied in my entire career.
In what way?
In the first place, no man on earth should be able to live with such a low count of red corpuscles as you have.
Continue.
In the second place, your blood's behaving in an impossible manner. The agglutinins breaking down, destroying the basic structure of the blood itself. The result
is evaporated blood.
Well, that's an oversimplification. Blood within the veins couldn't possibly evaporate. The more precise term would be...
Evaporation as a term will suffice, Doctor. Have you found a cause?
Not yet.
But you think you will?
I may. I'm already neglecting my other work to devote all my time to this problem. God forbid such a dreadful new plague should strike the earth.
Yes. God forbid.
You seem already aware of what's happening to you.
I am aware, Doctor. If a cure is not soon forthcoming, the blood of my body will turn to dust and I will die.
As a doctor, it's my job to try to cheer up the patient.
That is an infantile attitude, Doctor. Continue your studies and return to me again when you have learned more.
Yes, perhaps I shall learn something soon. I feel that time is the great element in this case.
Time is indeed the only element, Doctor. I hope you will return soon, Doctor.
Boss, that cop in the kitchen is filling Nadine with lies about me.
You are safe in my employ, Jeremy. Tell the policeman to take the doctor away. Then you will go to the park and collect my dinner guests.
But, boss...
Go. And I'll pick you up at 7?
All right, Speedy, you win. But I have to be home early.
Well, the big lover.
What's your angle here, Pittsburgh?
It's straight. The doc is waiting in the car for you, Flatfoot.
It better be straight, buddy. Because from now on, I'll have my eye on this place. See you tonight.
Okay.
Lousy cop.
Jeremy, I'm disappointed in you. You have such an honest face. Did you swipe my bathing cap? Because I can't seem to find it.
No. I gotta go now.
Big feed? You're bullying. Who's bringing it?
My boss. He's a crackpot philanthropist.
Any chaser?
You get a free fifth of French cognac when you leave.
I'm witches.
Got a couple of friends?
Millions. Hey, Steino, meeting hours. They're a little drunk. Well, he's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. They're dead drunk.
Why would anyone want to be a cop?
Or a nurse.
There must be something about helping people that gets into characters like us.
Couldn't be the money.
Or the hours.
Do you like this job you're on?
Yeah, it's different. They all are, but this one's especially interesting.
Johnson's some kind of a foreigner, isn't he?
He's got a dialect, but I can't place it. I'll have to ask him.
He sure is a cold one.
It's cold and odd and brilliant. He has a fantastically powerful mind, and yet he seems unaware of the simplest things.
Like how to park a car. Why does he wear those glasses?
I don't know. Can't discuss my patient's condition, you know.
I'm interested in the condition of a certain nurse.
Don't worry about me. Did you ever try and tangle with a nurse?
No, but I've seen a couple of heavyweights take their count when they try.
There's a few things in our training that might surprise you.
You want to bet? I guess this is your house.
Jeremy!
Thank you, Harry. I had a wonderful evening.
That's my standard treatment for high-class nurses. Creep and a two-bit crook. I don't like the feel of this place. Be careful in there, Nadine.
Oh, I'll be all right. I'm a big girl now.
Sure. Good night.
Good night.
Take the case directly to the living room and return here. I have further duties for you. Carefully.
It's in here, King Farouk.
Are you ready for your transfusion, Mr. Johnson? It's almost that time.
I will be ready in an hour. Come to the living room then.
All right.
This night I am transmitting the blood of phase 2. The study of phase 1 is in progress. Within 24 Earth hours, I shall locate and transmit the live specimen of Earth subhuman, as you have instructed. I have no information on my own probability of life or death.
That's right. I put crayons on it. Looking for prints. Probably won't find any. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. The same neck punctures as on the others. All right, Lieutenant. I'll let you know the minute we hear a thing.
The woman was the 12th, wasn't she?
13th. It's a miracle the papers haven't put them all together. I can just see those vampire headlines.
Any break in the case yet?
Nothing. This killer is a fiend of the most diabolical kind. Interested in only one thing, blood. What can he do with it? He's no idiot. He has an ugly device that burns through the victim's eyes. Burns the brain right in the skull. Then he takes the blood.
13.
Maybe more. Missing persons rate's gone up sharply. The Airways Vacuum Cleaner Company's got men out looking for a door-to-door salesman.
They probably don't want the salesman, they want the cleaner. Oh, don't worry, George, you'll crack it.
Crack it, I can't even scratch it. All I can think of is who'll be next.
Have you any close relations in the city, Miss Story?
Why? Somebody leave me $1 million?
Merely the curiosity of a patient.
Well, I have a 200-pound aunt in Detroit that sends me a box of saltwater candy every Christmas.
Are you close to your aunt?
She raised me as a child. Every now and then she gets on the phone to have a nice, long, collect chat with me.
You may increase the flow of blood this time, Miss Story.
Mr. Johnson, for a man who didn't know he had to have a blood test before a transfusion, you seem to know an awful lot about medicine now.
I have done some reading.
The last 3 days?
Yes. Perhaps you could give me a bit of information that I was unable to discover in my research.
What's that?
In the uranium method of cancer examination, it is true that the uranium flies to the cancerous area, but the books neglected to give me an explanation.
Well, that's true. Nobody knows the reason.
Then one assumption may be that since cancer attracts radioactivity, that the cancerous tissue itself may be charged with a negative energy. Possibly that might lead to a cure. What do you think?
I'm sure I don't think anything, Mr. Johnson. Now, you just lie still until the transfusion is finished.
Yes. Very well.
Ganno Laila. Laila. I have brought the specimen.
He shall follow me back through the beam.
With his transmission, phase 3 is completed.
Phase 3 is completed. Phase 1 near completion. Soon you must complete Phase 4. There is destruction within the Council of the Northern Orbit.
Destruction?
Rule is dissolving. Independent action increases on a 73-degree tangent.
The result of phase 4 shall be known to me in 3 of the Earth solar days.
I shall return to Nevada and tell them so. It must be no more than 3 days.
Ganno Laila.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Oh, honey, I miss you so.
Me too, but I'll be home soon.
Oh, darling, I just wish I could see you. I wish we could be close.
I know, sweetheart, but hey, wait a second. I think I've got an idea.
What's that?
Maybe it'd be better if I showed you.
Now, darling, don't start getting funny with me.
Turn to your right.
Well, I never... What is this?
You don't need that dang blasted thing anymore. I got us a space phone.
A space phone?
Yes. First things first. This technology is not dangerous or a form of surveillance.
No, of course not. I trust you, honey.
We're a trustworthy company.
We?
They are. Whoever's behind this product. I trust them with my life.
Now, why would you do that?
Space phone. all the stars in the sky transmitting your conversations for you.
Okay, cut.
Hey, can you cool it with the questions in the next take?
What do you mean? You all brought me here, told me this was a commercial. But there's no script. I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know what you want me to do.
Just act like this is normal and good.
Is it not normal and good?
No. Yeah, it is. It totally is. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. No. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You never said I could do that.
No, we don't want to advertise. Are you still rolling?
That was a great scream. Let's see some more of the film.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what the patient put away this morning. Nothing?
He never eats. I think he keeps the window open and lives on a smog.
Well, maybe, maybe not. What was in this?
Water?
Black water?
Not when I took it into him. Maybe he took a bath in it.
Ooh, it's got a chemical smell. It's vile.
This guy is 6 kinds of a freak.
Maybe you're right, Jeremy.
Yeah, baby. Sure I'm right.
Look, Jeremy. Is there anything else you've noticed about him that's different?
I noticed a couple of things in the last 2 days that looked worse than different. Night before last, he had me bring those stumblebums out here to dinner, remember?
Yeah. I saw them when I left on my date with Harry.
You went out, but they stayed in.
What do you mean?
After dinner, he sends me out to work on the car. Later, I come back and he says the bums are gone. But they ain't, because I was outside all the time and I would have heard him.
You mean to tell me that you think that there's still someplace in this house?
I don't think nothing. But what happened last night was a real dilly.
What happened?
The boss second stories it in about 2 o'clock in the morning and he has a Chinaman with him.
Yeah. And 3 pink elephants.
Baby, I can see in the dark. He takes the Chinaman into his room and neither one of them comes out. I saw the boss in there this morning and he acted like nothing happened.
Well, maybe nothing did.
I figure it's my business to think the same thing. Sometimes I get the creeps.
Yeah. So do I.
Glad to have company. Hey, you want to snoop around some? Maybe he's making atom bombs down there in the basement.
No. I think we're jumping at shadows. Mr. Johnson's a very considerate employer. But I will tell you one thing. As his nurse, I think I ought to take this down to the lab and find out what it is Mr. Johnson's putting inside of himself. Instead of food.
Where are we going today, boss?
You will leave me at the bookstore in Townley Hills district. You will then proceed to the service station. Later, I will meet you at the parking lot nearby.
Why the station?
I would like the vehicle scrutinized for any possible mechanical damage I might have done.
Okay.
I see Miss Story's vehicle is gone.
She went into town to catch a show.
I believe she was looking for this.
Yeah. Yeah, she lost it.
In the cellar, Jeremy. You will return it.
Do you have any idea what it is?
No, none at all.
Where'd you get it?
That, doctor, is a secret I'll let you in on later. Let's just say it's a food supplement a friend of mine developed.
A food supplement? Well, it's something for an internist to analyze, not for me.
Yeah, I know, but I think you might find it interesting.
It's for you, Nadine. He says he's the FBI.
All right, I'll be right there.
I had this blood sample tested. You had the dog pound sent over?
And?
It's rabies, all right. A virulent case.
Yes, well, label it carefully, please, and put it back in the chest. I'll have a use for it later.
Hello? Secret Agent Do-Re-Mi? Did you track down those stolen police arch supports?
Arch supports? I ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, that's another kind of support.
Well, at least you can't call me a flatfoot. What's happening tonight?
Well, there's supposed to be an eclipse of the moon in Johannesburg, South Africa.
What say we eclipse the stake? I'm on night duty. Go on at 9.
All right.
Okay, Doc. Pick you up at 6. Bye.
Bye.
I was going to ask you to come back here at 8 tonight. I should have those tests run by then.
Oh, I did want to see the results of those tests. I'll tell you what, Harry will probably take me to the El Dorado. Do you know the place?
Very well.
Well, then I'll make sure he takes me there. And when you get the final results of the supplement, come on over and have a bite with us.
I'll do that.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Why are you here?
I escaped. I came through the beam in your dwelling.
Penalty for using the dimension warp is immediate dispatch.
I had to do it. I had to escape the mob.
What has happened?
The wars are finished. The blood supply vanishes. The enemy captives have been taken from pasture, killed and their blood removed on the spot. I had to escape or perish.
You were justified. You shall not be punished for using the dimension warp, and you may help me to expedite my work here.
I shall help you.
You are the recorder. I sent a live specimen through the beam with the courier. Was the subhuman satisfactory?
The courier is dead, murdered for his blood. The specimen of Earth humanoid arrived in the Divana beam in a compressed state. He was crushed to the size of this communication.
Crushed?
The department concluded reservedly that it is impossible to transmit a human or subhuman anatomy through the beam from the Earth end. The courier lived because he never left the beam.
If the conclusion is correct, you and I will be unable to return to Divana. However, I shall send another specimen this night.
If it is correct, we must remain upon this world until we expire. I would prefer the outer planets of this system to the present agony of Divana.
That is an emotional statement.
It is an emotional time. And if I do not receive blood within 4 chronoctons of time, I will have no continuing need for emotion.
You shall have blood.
Nadine, you've got to tell me where you got that stuff. Oh, hello, Harry.
Hello, Doc.
Where?
From a friend?
Your friend must be an amazing person. Well, the compound's fantastic. Not only does it contain every vitamin known to man, but a few I've never even seen before. And it has the basic food structures concentrated with bulk, roughage, energy, and diet control, all in the same molecular structure.
Do you mean that he's combined all of this into one primary unit?
Yes. Who's he?
Mr. Johnson.
Oh. Well, let's see what they have here for a hungry man.
Do you think it's possible to reproduce Johnson's unit?
I think we've discussed this sufficiently. Oh, I guess I'll try the breaded veal cutlets.
This place looks like an exhibit from a Vocal Age museum.
This world is as ours was of that time. Your observation is correct. Lie there on that plain. I shall bring the blood. Wonderful.
We use our own private dressing recipe, sir.
Doctor, don't you even want to discuss this supplement thing?
No, my dear, I do not.
Well, I don't understand.
Nadine, I've put in a long day. Now, I've described the compound to you. That's all there is to it. I'd like to eat my dinner and get back to the clinic.
I'm with the doctor.
All right, let's get on with the salad.
It is finished. Do you feel relieved?
I feel disturbed.
The blood of this planet is rich. Soon you will find strength. Rise. We must leave this place.
There is activity within me.
It will pass.
We proceed to your dwelling?
No, we are too similar. There is a hotel 50 decabeds in that direction.
I will be alone among the subhumans. I do not know how to behave.
A clerk will speak to you vocally. You must remain in a state of lingua receptivity and imitate his sounds and meanings.
You will remain in contact?
I will come to you at the hotel place on the noon of the Earth's star.
Get Dr. Jackson.
She's still alive. Let's get her to my office. I'll take a look at this.
She's slipping, Doctor.
Oh, massage her arms. No, she's still alive.
Look at her glasses. They're just
Yes,
like...
I know. I'll take those glasses off. She's gone. Get an ophthalmologist. And call the coroner's office.
Sure have had a lot of cars park here tonight. See, $1. Thank you.
Hold. You will come with me. I must have a second live specimen. You will drive the automobile as I direct.
Hello?
Honey, I've been trying to reach you for 10 minutes.
Well, I just got in a second. What's up?
I'm at Dr. Rochelle's. A woman died in the hospital tonight.
Yes?
Is Johnson there?
I don't know.
Look, Nadine, I want you to get out of the house right now.
Harry, what are you talking about?
The woman who died, she had no eyes. At least not like ours.
I don't follow you.
She wore the same kind of glasses Johnson wears. Nadine, I don't think he's a human being.
Harry, have you been drinking?
Look, if I didn't have to go on duty in a half hour, I'd come out there and get you myself. Just take my word for it. Johnson's dangerous and get out of there.
Well, look, maybe you have got something. I'll tell you what. You stay there until just before you have to go on duty. I'll see what I can find out on my own, and then I'll call you back.
Are you nuts? Beat it out of that place.
Goodbye, doll.
It is impossible for you to escape. Come to me.
I hear you. You can't hurt me now. It doesn't work now.
It's a lie. I am not so injured.
I really wanted that valet to get away. But anyway, alright, we're getting close to the end of the film now, and I hate to tell you guys this, I know you're not going to like this, but we do not have a horror host highlight reel on this show. For those of you, if anybody new is watching the show, it's the thing we usually do where we put together a montage of other horror hosts besides me hosting the movie of the night. We don't have it this week, not because a horror host threatened to murder me on last week's show. That's not related. I just could not find any videos of other horror hosts hosting this movie. Apparently it has happened. There's documentation. IMDb seems to indicate that Ghoulardi did this movie on Shock Theater. Somebody in the comments mentions that he does some gag where he loops a driving scene so it goes on forever, which sounds like a good bit. I think it was on something called Dungeon of Dr. Drek. But I'm resorting to the oral tradition at this point, which is not what the Horror Host highlight reel is about. So again, I apologize. I just don't have the materials. I looked, I tried. They're not there. They're not on YouTube, at least. I don't know where else to find them. So we don't have it tonight. We'll have it next week, and we will have a huge one for Night of the Living Dead because everyone has screamed that movie. But tonight, what we do have are some deleted scenes from Not of This Earth. This is totally exclusive to Hoff's Horror Fest. No one has ever shown these before. You guys probably noticed there's allusions in the film to other murders. I think there have been allusions. If there haven't, they're going to happen in the last act. But there are allusions to other murders which have been committed, presumably by Mr. Johnson, which we don't see happening. Originally, the movie showed those other victims, but Roger Corman cut out those parts so we could get this down to the ideal feature film length of 70 minutes. And he was right to do so. But we've gotten a hold of those deleted scenes featuring Mr. Johnson's other victims, and I'm going to play them for you right now. So here we go.
Morning. Are you the man of the house?
This is my house.
Oh, awesome. My name's Andrei. I'm the starting point guard of my 8th grade basketball team, and we're selling candy bars for uniforms and shoes.
You wish that I purchase your machine?
Machine? No, candy bars. I'm selling candy bars for my basketball team for uniforms and shoes.
I do not wish to purchase.
Fine, take it easy, pal. I may look older, but I'm just a kid. So relax. Hey, you mind if I use your bathroom? I gotta take a whiz.
No persistence. Leave my house.
Jeez Louise, what's with this guy? I'm just a kid trying to sell candy bars for my basketball team so we can have uniforms and shoes. Sorry I asked to use your bathroom. You can't play ball in flip-flops.
No flip-flops.
Correct. No flip-flops. You see, we were the laughingstock of our league, the cellar dwellers. But with your help, we could turn it around and maybe even compete next year.
In my cellar?
What? Cellar? No, candy bars.
I shall be glad to see your machine in operation.
No machine! I'm selling candy bars!
Well, Mr. Johnson, hanging out with you hasn't been all bad. I won't lie, I was a little worried. You know, you wear sunglasses inside and you never smile, and frankly, you're a bit morbid. Well, Mr. Johnson, I am from the great state of Mississippi, and us Mississippians have a saying. You look for the light in others, and then you treat them as if that is all you see.
I am pleased. Perhaps your treatments will prevent my predicted death.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You are so dramatic. Why don't we play a game where you don't talk about death for the rest of the evening? Because, you know, bringing up death in the middle of every casual conversation is boring, boring.
How can one not be casual? Death is not a remarkable thing.
That may be true, but you sound like my grandmama. Come on, live a little. You know, you've even got your own pool. I don't know anybody who has their own pool.
That is true.
Exactly. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. You go put on some shorts.
You have no further duties until this evening, so you may do as you like with your time until then.
Well, hot damn. I'll see you in the pool.
Have you spoken to anyone of this?
Of Hoff's Horror Fest? Yeah, we have an email list. We do Insta posts. Marybess does a lot of promo. You know, you have a little bit of a following.
Can you tell me anything that I do not know?
Anything you don't know? Well, we're screening a movie every Thursday night, all October, you know, for Halloween. The last one we do is going to be Night of the Living Dead. That's one of my favorites. You should tune in. It's going to be fun.
In what way?
In what way will it be fun? Oh, boy. Well, we have these in-film gags that we do. Sometimes we play games.
Continue.
Well, some of the movies we show are pretty scary. They're all pretty entertaining. We did this one called Little Shop of Horrors about like a bloodthirsty Venus flytrap. It's pretty wild. Really, you should tune in. It's a lot of fun, and we might even do more shows after this month's run.
You think you will?
I don't know. It's a lot of work. But, it's not like we got anything better to do as long as these lockdowns keep stretching on, God forbid.
Yes. God forbid.
Wow, what an ensemble they would have had. It's like an Altman film, right? All right, please enjoy the final act of Not of This Earth.
Harry says he's not a human being.
I don't think he's for real neither.
Well, where is he?
He put me in a taxi and took off in the car with some queer-looking dame.
Well, this gives us a chance to search the house. Come on, let's try the living room.
We better make it snappy. Find anything?
Not yet. How about you?
What's this?
Never seen anything like it.
Good. Maybe we hit something.
Look. Well, now we've really got something.
I don't think we ought to fool with it. It might blow up.
What's that? There's something here you can't get your hand through.
What is this thing?
I don't think I want to know. Whatever it is, no one on this world ever made it.
You mean the boss is some kind of man from Mars?
I don't care what he is, but I think we ought to smash this thing.
You couldn't bust through that with a 20-pound sledge.
Well, there's nothing we can do about this. I'll stay here, you go down the cellar and see what you can find.
Okay.
Hello?
Nadine?
Yes, Doctor.
Harry told you about the woman who died here tonight.
He said she was like Johnson.
This has nothing to do with our patient. The woman seems to lack any visible aperture in her optical tissue. And she has a fantastic blood disease in which the agglutinin is disintegrating.
Disintegrating? Is that what killed her?
No, she died of rabies. What? I've been experimenting with the blood from a rabid dog. Someone injected that same blood into her tonight, at least an hour ago. The impossible part is that she lived through the transfusion.
Who would do such a horrible thing?
Someone who knew that she needed blood desperately and didn't know what kind of stuff he was pumping into her.
I say it was Johnson.
Doctor, do you think Mr. Johnson is suffering from the same disease as this woman?
I will not discuss Mr. Johnson.
Why?
About this woman. I think I know the cause and treatment of her disease.
You do?
Yes. Apparently, the victim has lived in an area that's been constantly charged with radioactive material. It was this atmosphere that affected the blood.
Where would such an atmosphere be found?
In a place where continuous nuclear detonations had taken place over a period of years. An area of all-out nuclear warfare.
But there is no such place.
Yes, I know, my dear. There's no doubt in my mind that this woman is something other than human. She's an alien.
I see. What would be your treatment?
First, removal from the toxic atmosphere, and then a complete change of blood.
Would this cure Mr. Johnson?
I'm not speaking of Johnson.
But he fit your description.
Nadine, please.
Dr. Rochelle, does this man have some kind of a power over you? Has he threatened your life or something?
Nadine, I really must hang up. I have a great deal of work to do.
Look, Dr. Rochelle,
The doctor is no longer in contact with the story.
Mr. Johnson.
Remain in your room.
You're not gonna get me, mister!
Do not run from me, Nadine. I am going to dispatch you.
I hear your voice, Mr. Johnson, but I'm not going to open my eyes.
There is no place for you to hide. You may conceal your person, but I can find your mind. And I shall destroy your doctor. Nadine, I am coming. Listen to me. I am not going to kill you. You and your doctor have cured me. You have saved the people of Devana. Because of you, we shall live. I am coming.
Still busy. The makeup of this blood's amazing. I think the coroner will agree.
I can't wait any longer, Doctor. I've got to go on duty right away.
Well, I guess I can continue my examination alone.
If Nadine calls, tell her I've gone to work.
Oh, well, Harry, why don't you try to get her again?
Once more. To think of her under the same roof with that monster.
Mr. Johnson is no monster.
I can't wait. Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Harry.
Do not run. I am coming. I know where you are. I'm driving directly to you.
5th Precinct, Sergeant Walton.
Hello? I've got to talk to Harry Sherborne. I've got to talk to him.
Hold it, lady. Don't get so excited. Now, what do you want to talk to him about? Maybe I can help you.
Please. He's after me. I've got to talk to him.
I think he's on traffic duty. Who's after you?
Oh, please, please.
Look, lady, you've got to calm down and tell me what's the matter.
What's up?
Some hysterical dame wants to talk to you. Can't figure what...
Nadine?
Oh, Harry, thank God. Johnson's after me.
Where are you?
I'm at the Bixby Grounds parking lot.
Stay there. I'm on my way.
I can't stay.
Nadine? Nadine! I'm going out there.
Take Simmons with you.
Simmons!
You cannot run forever, Nadine. Your friend cannot help you.
I don't see either one of them. Look, we'll separate. You take the roads around the north side, and I'll take the one past the zoo. Simmons, no siren.
Okay.
Stop running. Stop running! Stop running! My strength is returned.
It has returned.
I shall not kill you.
You shall not kill me.
The first specimen I sent to Davana was crushed. It may have been an accident. I shall send another.
You shall send another.
It shall be you.
It shall be me.
Rise. We will walk to the automobile. I am about to be attacked. Return to my house. I shall dispose of the intruder. Return to the house and enter the transmission beam in the living room.
Return and enter the beam.
When you are inside the beam, slide the power lever. It will send you to Davana.
It will send me to Davana.
Johnson do this?
Yes.
How?
With his eyes.
Is that him?
Yes.
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
Stay here. I'm going after him. I feel sorry for him.
Why sorry?
Buried so far from home, so far from everyone he knew.
I can't feel sorry for him. He had no emotions as we know them. It was a foreign thing coming here to destroy us. Thank God he tried too hard.
Come on.
If you had a gravestone in your local cemetery that just said, "Here lies an alien," I would love that. So anyway, that's not of this earth. Hope you all enjoyed the film and the show. I have been your host, Hoff Matthews. Thank you all for watching. Many thanks to our guest tonight, Sydney Clara Brafman. My co-producers on this show are Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett. And we will be back next week with The Phantom of the Opera. This is going to be a very special show. This is the silent movie version of The Phantom of the Opera from the 20s. And we're actually going to be providing it with a brand new soundtrack. Not new music, we're using stock music and stock sound effects and stuff, but we are going to be dubbing all of the dialogue, which was previously only available as title cards because it was a silent film. So me and my co-producers will be doing voices, and we brought in a whole bunch of our funny, talented performer friends to fill out the cast. So it's going to be a great show. I hope you all can come back next week and join us for that. We will also have another special guest next week, J. Blake Fischera, the musician, podcaster, and author of Scored to Death, a series of interviews with horror film soundtrack composers. So again, come back next week for The Phantom of the Opera. It's going to be a great time. And for now, damn, I was going to do a little thing where I put on sunglasses at the end, but I forgot to get the sunglasses out. So I won't keep you guys waiting while I rummage around and get them. Just imagine that I'm doing that, and have a good night. And thanks again for watching.